go ahead and stand on our feet tonight. Just lift those hands all over the room tonight. We love your name. We love your name. We love your name. the wind blow. Let 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 the wind blow. Yeah, let the wind blow. Lift those hands and sing that. Let the wind blow. 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 Come on, family, lift those hands and sing it. Let the wind blow. Let the wind blow. Let the wind blow. Let the wind blow. Breathe on the wind. Let the wind blow. Let the wind blow. Let the wind blow. Let the wind blow. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Come on, lean in for a minute. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Oh, revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Revivals in the air. Catch it if you can. Let us become aware. Revivals in the air. 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 every eye closed in the room, on every heart tender to the Father. as it ever was. Yeah. The blood, the blood. It's as powerful as it ever was. The blood, the blood. It's as powerful as it ever was. It's still healing, and it's still delivering. Yes, it's still healing, and it's still delivering. It's still healing. There's healing in the room right now. There's deliverance in the room right now. It's still healing, and it's still delivering. It's more than enough. It's more than enough. It's more than enough. Yeah. It's more than
Can you hear me? And so, as CJ's singing that, I just really feel that on tonight. I just feel like the direction that we're going in is no matter what you came in the room with, I don't believe you're going to leave the same person tonight. And I know a lot of times we come to church services and we'll have things like that we need God to move on, and if we walk out of the room and we fully don't feel it gone yet, it's like, well, I'll just have to wait to the next church service or the next altar call. But that's not really how it always happens, because the Lord is more concerned about your journey with Him than He is about the end result, because He's about relationship. And relationships are forged in fire. Relationships are forged when you don't agree. Relationships are forged in tension. And most of our lives, we try to get away from tension. But that wasn't Jesus' life. And if it wasn't His life, it's not going to be our life. Not if we want true life. And so I'm just going to pray, and then we're going to take up offering, and we've got some really special things for you guys tonight. So, Rick, Steve, if you want to turn those lights down. Those lights are so bright. I went up and asked him, I said, can you turn the stage lights down and everybody else's lights up, because I can't see them, and I don't like speaking to a light. I'm not all about that stage life, I guess. I don't know. But Jesus, I just thank you for the worship. I just thank you that you're in the room. I just thank you, Holy Spirit, that you're here. And I just ask right now, God, that you would just go before me they're going to come up and give their testimonies tonight, Lord. And I just thank you that you're going to go before them, and there's going to be hearts in this room changed. And they're going to walk out of here, and they're going to start this journey of healing with you. And that they're going to get to know you, not just as the miracle-working God, but as the one that sets with them in tension, the one that delivers them from it all through a walk and through a journey. And Lord, I just thank you for that, Jesus. And so if you guys, Steve, if you want to put the offering up on the, what do you call those, screens? The screens. And so in taking up offering tonight, I just want to talk about some things that we're really about as a church. If you guys, while I'm talking, if you have like check or cash or something that needs to go in a bucket, a gold ring, you need to pawn something off and put it in our bucket, just raise your hand and Aaron's going to come around and get you. He may be surprised at what he gets tonight. So, and then if not, if you do online giving, just go ahead and do the screen just while I'm kind of telling a story. But I take up offering a lot around here, and a lot of times it's for our youth, and it's for the youth camps that we go to, and you guys give so graciously to our youth. And the one thing that we stand for is the generational consciousness. Like, it's not just about the older generation. I don't like to consider myself older generation. I'm still youth that leads a youth. But it's about, they don't have to grow up like we did in religion. They get to hear the freedom that the Lord's given us in our life now and what he's teaching us in this journey that he has us on. And they get to live that their whole life. They don't have to relearn anything. And so we really invest in their lives. We love them so much. And we rally around them. We take them to the youth camps. We take them to Mobile. We get them right in the middle of everything, and it really has a lot to do with the church being behind everybody, supporting everybody, and financially giving to it. And so I don't know what you want to call me, I'm not a youth pastor, youth leader. I just want to say thank you, because this has been the most transformative year in this youth's life. I have walked with them for, what has it been, Audrey, 2 years now, I guess? Like close, and they've walked closely with me and seen my personal life, and I've walked closely with them, and we've got really close. And so our first youth trip was hard because I've never been a youth leader before, and we didn't have a close relationship. But now that we go, everybody knows each other. We're all like family, and like Audrey said last time, it's like we just go on one big family vacation. And they're the best teenagers I could ever ask for. And I told them when they start getting older, they're not allowed to move and they have to help me with the ones coming up, like my kids. But anyway, so one big thing that's on my heart is for tonight is testimonies. So I have asked 2 girls to come up here and share exactly what you've been putting your money into. And you say, well, how did my money help their transformation? It helped to get us, help us put them in environments where they were forged in a relationship with Jesus. And when I say through tension, it was through tension. I've seen them in hard times. I've seen them as teenagers go through hard situations that when I went through them as a teenager, it was completely different. I had to hide everything. You couldn't really talk about things. But with them, it's been different, and they're learning a different way. And so I just want to read this verse, and I didn't give you this verse, Steve. That happens often. I'll get in worship down here, and I hear a verse, and there I am. And so let me see where I want to start. In Revelations 12, starting in the second half of verse 10, it says, "Now salvation and power are set in place, and the kingdom reign of our God and the ruling authority of his anointed one are established. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters who relentlessly accused them day and night before our God has now been defeated, cast out once and for all. They conquered him completely through the blood of the Lamb and the power of his testimony." And his testimony, if you go on to read the notes at the bottom of the Passion Translation, the translation I'm reading out of, it says, "and the power of the word of their testimony." And so there is freedom in the testimony of Jesus and his blood. And because there is freedom in his testimony, there is freedom in the power of our testimony. And so that's where we're at tonight. It's not, I said, girls, this isn't going to be like a regular testimony, but I said, I want you to think about the deep things that God's done in your life this year. And I want the people in the room, whatever your hearts long for to see in the character of God, I pray that something in their life shows you his character. And I'll start off with this one little testimony. As I was when I was younger, I think I was probably 19, I had been out, and I come home, and I had this really bad anxiety attack. And at that time, I didn't know it was an anxiety attack. I felt like the world was falling down, and I didn't know what was going on. And it was late at night, and my mom was in bed, and so what better idea than to call my pastor? Like 1 a.m, maybe. And I call him, and I'm like, I don't know what this feeling is. I feel like I'm just going to die and go to hell right now. Like, it was the most, if you've ever had panic, anxiety attacks to where you feel like your life is ending right there, that's what it felt like. It felt like I had done something really wrong, and I didn't know, and I was being punished, is kind of the feeling I got. And the only thing, and not saying he said anything bad, but it's all he knew then, so I understand why he said it. But he's like, the only thing I can think of that this is just conviction. And so that 18, 19-year-old girl, I spent the rest of my teenage years, all of my 20s, and 3 years of my 30s, every time I had anxiety or a panic attack, I thought, okay, this is conviction. What have I done wrong? And I went on this witch hunt of figuring out what was wrong with me. And when me and CJ moved here, it wasn't long after, maybe 6 months into being here, we were in a worship service, and I can't remember who was leading worship. Josh, I think, was up there. And I was just worshiping the Lord, and all of a sudden I seen that 19-year-old girl, myself, and I seen her in the room, and I seen her sitting on the carpet, and I seen her rocking back and forth, and I seen the anxiety that she was under, and I heard the Lord's voice, and he said, that wasn't me. And so I lived a big chunk of my life believing a lie about the character of God. And these girls don't live that way, because they've been taught the correct character of the Father. And so that's why I believe that them just telling you whatever they want to tell you tonight about their story, about their year. We're going into another youth camp at the end of December, and I can't wait, because we went into youth camp this year, one person, all of us, right? Through the year, we went to 2 youth camps this summer, and then multiple revivals. And then at the end of the year, we get to go celebrate what the Lord has done, not go at the end of the year begging him to get something else out of our life, but we get to go celebrate what the Father has done in our lives. And so, Audrey, if you want to come first and just kind of share, I'll be up here with you.
Hey guys. Oh my gosh, it is really bright up here. Okay, so I can't come up here and not express just how thankful I am for this family. I have to. So, I just cannot tell y'all, like, I've been here from the get-go. Like, literally, I was born, and that's when, my dad started the church with my Uncle Jeremy, and, I've seen it from start to now, and I can't tell y'all the growth and the change that's happened in this family. And it so encourages my heart to be surrounded by such an amazing group of people, and I've made new best friends, and it's just very special what we're in, and I'm so honored. And I can't not talk about my parents. I have to brag about them too, but truly this is what it is because they are exactly who you see them as. They're exactly who they are up here. They're the same and they're more than that, and they tend this, and there's a family. This family is a group of people who really tend this fire, and it's so special. And that is exactly why we are in the place that we're in, and the campfires and stuff that's been going on. It's just it's like it feels surreal for me. It's such a big deal, and I'm so grateful for it, and I'm so grateful for all of y'all. But I came up here because honestly, Megan told me, like yesterday, she's like, hey, I wanted to have you and some people from the youth come share your heart, and everything inside of my body cringed and twisted up into a ball, which is not like me, because most of y'all, if you know me, I'm very outspoken, and I jump at the opportunity to talk on a microphone, but everything inside of me started twisting up, and I got so anxious. And I was praying actually during service, and the Lord reminded me of times in the past where right before I was about to have a really big encounter is the time that I felt the most against it, if that makes sense. Like I would feel that anxiety and that pushing away and like, no, I don't want to do it. But I think that's exactly why I needed to get up here, and I needed to share my heart and just share with y'all, because I know there's been so many times in my life where I needed to hear someone else's story and relate and see, wait, this isn't as big of a mountain as I think. And it's not as big because there's other people around me that they've been through it too. And so I'll just kind of briefly share with y'all, this past year has been the most transformative year of my life, like without a doubt. And I feel like the Lord has really taught me his character and showed me who he truly is, because I've grown up in church my whole life, but I don't know that I ever truly knew his character until about 6 months ago, which is crazy to say because you've been around it your whole life, but you can still not know. And there's so much growth that can happen in family, and I used to struggle with a lot of insecurity, and because of that insecurity, I would find myself doing things that were outside of who I am, and I'm not perfect. I think it's important to know that even though you can see somebody standing up here holding a microphone every week, that does not mean we have it all together. We're just like anybody else. We struggle with things too, and we are human. And I just feel, I don't know, the Lord has just really been able to show me a lot about his character in this year. And I used to struggle believing that he could really be as good as he is, like it was a too good to be true kind of thing. But the Father has just really revealed a lot in my heart this past year, and it's been amazing. I want to share about a time where I felt like really everything changed in my life, and I don't know how long ago it was. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, roughly 6 months ago. I was at a campfire at Megan and CJ's house, and I was probably in the lowest point of my life, pretty close to it. But I'm so thankful for y'all and for the community that just was there with me in the lows and the highs, you know. But I was just talking with them, and Megan, I was just expressing to her, like, I feel like I just keep going in circles. And it's like, I know that I'm wrong, and I know that what I'm doing is wrong, but why am I never good enough? And I can't do good enough, and I can't fix it, and I can't fix what I'm doing. And, you know, it got so hopeless because it just kept repeating itself. And we kind of talked about how in religion that's compared to, like, the Israelites go, it's like, okay, well, if you mess up again, you got to go all the way back around the mountain, and you got to get it all back together. And, you know, it just felt like starting all over again, and you ruined it. And that's how I was seeing myself, which is very hopeless, and it's not true, and that's not how God sees it, and that's not how that works in the kingdom. But Megan looked at me, and I'll never forget this, and she said, I don't think it's like that. What if this is your last lap around the walls of Jericho, and it's all about to fall, and this is the last time you're going to face that giant? And I just lost it. But seriously, like Megan will tell you, since that night, I wasn't the same human. And ever since then, it's been encounter after encounter, and the Father has just revealed what a sweet and loving, merciful God He is. And I've got to meet Him again. And, you know, ever since, it's just been encounter after encounter, and it's, yeah.
She's such a different person, and so she's growing into such a woman, such a lovely woman, you know. And I just seen God take, not that she had so much dirt in her life He had to take out, but it was the perception of who He was that was changed in her life, that I seen change, and the perception of who He's seen her as. You know, like who she sees herself. And that's why we are generational conscious. That's why we have that. That's why that we do everything that we do around here is for that reason. The campfires, like she said, it was around a campfire. And it was so unintentional. It was a normal, we did that often. It was so unintentional on our part, but the Father had something set up for her that night. And He was being very intentional with her. And you can stay up here with me, Audrey, if you want to, or you can sit down, whatever you want to do. But Caitlin also, Caitlin, come on up. Caitlin, I have seen her just completely change, and she can tell you about that. I won't tell her story. She can tell you.
Well, hello. But what I was going to talk about is that how she said that she grew up a lot in the church. Well, I did not. It's very bright. I'm going to find something to look at. But that was not something that I ever did until I moved here. Well, I moved here in 2019, and I was probably 12, 13-ish. But at that point, I was just coming to church because it's just, my family's coming. It's Sunday. It's what you're supposed to do. And I didn't engage a lot because I didn't know a lot type thing. And I remember just not necessarily ever questioning things. It was just, well, like, how did I word it? It wasn't necessarily like, is God real or not? It was never that, but didn't know what it was and what it could be, of who He was, the goodness of Him, and like his love and the beloved identity that we always talk about. I didn't know any of that until this summer, honestly, just a few months ago. And I remember there's been many of the conversations with Megan. There was one that impacted me a lot, and it was, we were sitting at her house, one of the youths, and we were all in a circle. And I was just telling her, like, about how I was questioning and stuff, and she was saying that she saw a lot of the times where it was like, God is putting me in a room, and he's bubble wrapping and baby proofing the house, and where as I'm learning all these things, I can fall back and it's okay, because you can always rest in him of what he's trying to, like, the truth within him. And then there's been another time on our way to Mobile, and that's usually always when it is, in a car ride, and I think it was just her, Audrey, and I, and the kids, and I think everybody was asleep, and it was just us three talking. And I remember telling her, like, Megan, I so badly long for that. And it's as simple as just, like, whenever you are longing for it, just the yes, and it saying that yes, I didn't realize how much of a difference that was going to make. And I remember her just, like, telling me, like, I want you, her words, she said, for the next 3 months, because I used to always be in the back, helping in the back, because that's just, I like to help people. And I remember her telling me, for the next 3 months, I want you to be in there, in the front, during worship, and taking that initiative and pursuing it. And you can't keep pouring out of your cup when your cup is empty, because at that point you have nothing else to give, and you don't have anything filling yours back up. And that's at the point that I was. But this room, everybody in here, we have such a strong, like, community just within this family. And most are some of my actual family, but it's become to the point where it's like each and every one of everybody in here is somebody that I know that at any point of time, you can always go to them about anything. All of the leaders that we've had in here, I've had so many special talks and moments with them, and I've honored anything that they'll ever say. And, like, after her and I had that conversation in the car of just being in the room, from then on, at 5:15, after I'm done doing the sign-in, I'm in here in the same exact spot. And those, he does. He meets you, and there's been a big difference from the way I thought about things to the way I think about it now, of where I can act, like, I feel his presence when I'm in this room, or whenever we're down in Mobile. Like, I remember that last time, a lot of times where in my head I was, like, physically making the space for him during worship, and it felt as like he was just standing there, and my hand got heavy, like as if he was holding my hand. But it's just all of those things, that his goodness is real, and that you can lean back so much in family and the rooting that you have. And he's just good. I guess.
When you guys go back leaving, the leave sign before you go sit down. Yeah, of course.
I got 2 more cents, y'all. Sorry. As she was talking, I was reminded of something, and I just felt the importance of sharing it. So after I had that pivotal encounter, if you will, I felt like every time I came into service, it was like every time it was just amazing. You know, like I was bawling, crying, or I was having a crazy encounter, I was laying on the ground shaking and everything, you know, like it was just went on like that for like 2 months. And I came to this place where I was like, wait, that's not happening anymore. And I started kind of getting out of my seat of peace, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I losing it? Am I losing my encounter? Am I doing something wrong? And you know, that like self-righteousness starts to creep back up in your head, you know, because that's That's our habit. And I felt the Lord speak to me and say, no, I was teaching you my character so that you would know who I am. And then later on, it was like I started to realize it's like I know that no matter where I go, I can host his presence because he taught me that from the very beginning. So I just felt an emphasis to say, if any of y'all were kind of dealing with that, where it's almost, I felt the word like stagnant. If you felt as though your relationship with the Father is stagnant, I just hear him saying, that's not what that is. And what it is you come into family and you feel a peace that's not common. It's not what you're used to. It's not what you've been in. And this is different. This is very different, and it's right. And I think it's just very important for you to know that it is not your job. For you to think that that's in your control is a little bit silly, honestly. To think that you could lose your encounter is a little bit silly because you're not God, and you don't control that. And so I know without a shadow of a doubt, when you have a real encounter with the Father, that doesn't leave you, no matter what you do. I'm proof of that. I was really bad at it. I had a real encounter with the Father, and I would try and go back to whatever I wanted to do, and I sucked at it. And every time I would fail. And that's part of those cycles where I go back and forth, but he never lets go. And you can't control that. And I just want y'all to rest and have peace in that this is not something that you can work harder to get or do better, but just rest in this seat of peace and family.
Yes. So that is, it is, they stand up here and say it, and I've got to walk beside them and experience it. And it's been amazing. And you guys, this is what you give into. Like one changed life, like when they get married and have a family, it's going to be a changed family. Then their kids are going to go on to have families like this. And this is going to go on for generations that we may never see. And so thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. It is, yes, give them a hand. Give the Holy Spirit a hand for doing that in their life. It's not a little thing. You know, we can't treat that as an everyday, just take advantage of it, because it's not a little thing. It is big. It is humongous in their life. It is real in their life. And we can sit here and say we are the family that's seen this happen in their life. And they don't have to walk through what we walked through, the years of anxiety and torment and condemnation, because we chose a different path for us and for our kids and for our kids' kids, and it's going to keep on going, and it's not little. And, you know, like, that may not seem like a big deal to you. That's a big deal to me. It's a huge deal to me. And so what I want to talk about tonight, I'll just take a little time. I'm not going to take a lot of your time, but we can look at that and we can say, we may not even relate with their stories, but I know that you can relate with your story. Everybody in this room, I know, has a need for something, or has been asked of God to give something. Not even talking about money. But one thing that in our journey, in my journey, that I am learning is the biggest word. I brought this for you guys tonight, and this is kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to put it on the table, okay? But anyway, believe. Believe. That seems like a really small word until it changes your whole life. And so the definition of believe is to have confidence in the truth, the existence or the reliability of something, although without absolute proof that one is right in doing so. And so I'm going to turn to, let me see what I'm going to turn to first. Hold on, it's hard. I can see why Brad has a face thing when he speaks, because it's hard with a microphone. Let's see. So go to, I don't know if I gave you this either, Steve, Mark 9, verse 23, if you guys want to turn there. It says, Jesus said to him, "What do you mean, if? If you are able to believe, all things are possible to the believer." All things, not some things, not your thing, not just your thing, but all things. But the if is, Jesus said, what do you mean if? It's not if I can do it, because I can and I will. But what's the if? But if you believe, all things are possible to the believer. And so I'm just going to tell a little bit of a story. I got sick, I'm going to say 7 weeks ago now. For 5 weeks, I was so sick and had no idea, still have no idea what was really going on, still having symptoms. I have no idea. I was on the couch for 5 weeks. And one day I was having a really hard day. And my mom called. And she said, she had no idea I was having a hard day. I didn't tell her I was having a hard day. And my mom called and she said, "Sis, I wasn't going to tell you this, but since you were telling me you've had such a hard day, I wanted to let you know I was in TJ Maxx earlier. I walked by this sign that says believe, and the Holy Spirit said, get that and take it to Megan." Because I will be honest with you. I've struggled with an autoimmune disease for 4 years now, and I had no idea what was happening because I was doing so much better. And so for that 5 weeks, everything in the world went through my mind. Everything in the world. When I say, when you get sick or when something happens and you start, not trusting the Lord, but not meaning to not trust the Lord, and you have all these thoughts and visions of, well, what if this happens to me? What if it's this? And you kind of have all these movies in your head. And it's well, my friend over here that I prayed for passed away. Well, if God didn't do it for her, then how do I know God's going to do this for me? And when my mom called me and she said that, she hadn't even brought it to me yet. She was bringing it to me the next week because she doesn't live here. And when she called me and she said that, I just cried. And I thought, God, you are trying to tell me something. And I'm going to trust you and I'm going to believe you. And I'm telling you from that day, from that moment in my life, that I just said, yes, God, I believe. I don't even know I just believe that it's going to be okay. That's all. That's exactly why I wore my white sweatshirt tonight, and I look like a marshmallow. And I said, well, if I look like a marshmallow, that's fine because it's bonfire season, and everybody's roasting marshmallows. And so now I can look like what everybody roasts at their fire. but the reason I wore it is after that I went and I'll turn around and let you guys see it. But it says, everything is going to be okay. And that night, when I started believing, every day I have gotten better. I didn't strive for it. I don't know what the heck happened. Every day I have gotten better. Listen to what I'm saying. This may sound little, but listen to what I'm saying. Is that it just takes a little shift like this in your thinking. And you welcome the most powerful presence and healing you'll ever experience in your life. And there's things that I was talking to a friend last night about. There's things that God asks us to do sometimes that don't make sense. And I can tell you, every decision I've ever made since I've been in this family, for sure, did not make sense to people. When we moved here, we quit both of our full-time jobs. We lost all of our salary. We moved here and sewed shoes on Facebook. And we have 4 children, 2 vehicles, and a house payment, insurance. Let's just go on with it. And we moved here, and I didn't even, I won't say I even intentionally said, God, I just believe you. I was just like, I'm throwing all my eggs in this basket, and I'm going to live or die because everything else didn't work. So if this don't work, I'm done for because everything else wasn't working. Nothing was working. We have been in full-time ministry our whole marriage. And before we moved here, nothing was working. No matter what we did, how much we strived, how much we worked, I was to the point to where I would walk in church service late and leave early, and I was done. I was done because I lived in constant anxiety. I was having health issues. I was never experiencing freedom. And was all that God's fault? No. It wasn't all his fault. But he heard the prayer and the cry of our hearts for a spiritual father and a spiritual mother and a family. Because everywhere we had ever been would welcome you in. They'd have the U-Haul waiting on you when you got there. And there'd be all kinds of people there to help you unload. But then when it was time to leave, it was just you. And so that was the only family that we had experienced in ministry. And I was like, that's not family. And so my taste buds turned bitter. And I just seen the people as just not bad, but I just seen them as like, it doesn't really matter. Relationship doesn't really matter. Because you go in and you work hard on a relationship, and then whenever something happens, it's just all, it doesn't really matter. You're gone, you're replaceable. And then when we went to a service in Kannapolis, we left that service, and it was closer to our home so we could just drive there. It's when they were having the revivals there. We went to the service, and when we left, I just cried the whole way home, and I said, I've never felt so fatherless. I've never felt so alone. And I'm like, something's got to change, CJ. Like, we cannot keep living this way. And so we prayed, and we kept going, and then we organically got the relationship with Brad and Sarah Beth, and we moved here, and that is when the real journey began. And when we moved here, I didn't automatically get free. Things didn't automatically just start supernaturally happening. But it was through submission and through trusting the Father and trusting the spiritual parents that he put in our life that things started to change. Like, these girls were up here talking about, like, Caitlin, when I told you you need to come into service and just give that time to the Lord, make sure that you're putting yourself to where you're with family, and things started changing for her. And I've told her, Caitlin, thank you for submitting to that, because you didn't have to. And so through coming in and submitting under a father and a mother, we now own a business. We do not worry about finances. We don't have to worry about finances. And all of that is just, and God could have, and I'm healed from anxiety. I don't have anxiety anymore. My body is being healed. Like, I'm being healed every day. Even though I went through that 5 weeks, it's not like, it sure was not as bad as what I went through in the beginning. And so what I have to tell you tonight is, when I look up in my story, I heard this from Melissa Helser. This isn't from me, but this is from her. When I am in my story and I'm in my life, I can't look up and see my healing. I see Jesus, but I also see people. Like, when Jesus could have healed me from anxiety and my health and all of that before I came here. It wasn't like he couldn't do it. But he chose to say, no, Megan, I'm going to put you in family, and I'm going to let that heal you, because you're going to heal through that. And can I tell you that it's not all been butterflies and rainbows? Can I tell you that there's been tension? But it's through buckling down in the tension of life, period, with the people that you're called to be with. And you stay connected, and you keep your hearts connected, and you love one another. And like with the fires around Kentucky that Brad is doing right now, it's not just, he said last night something that really caught my heart, is like, it's not a him thing, guys, it's an us thing. And we have been chosen. This is such an honor for me, I think. Like when we were out there last night around that fire, and I just had my hands up in the open sky of worshiping the Father, and the dream that come from Mackenzie, that this is just going to keep going, and it's going to catch people on fire, and they're going to get to experience freedom. Like, this isn't about just us in this one room, only us together, but it's about God is doing this through us, and he's going to do this through our life. And like the domino thing with Mackenzie, if you were there last night and you heard, like, it's one domino gets caught on fire in the fires that were doing around Kentucky, and then it lights another one on fire, and then it's like a domino effect, and it keeps going. I don't know about you guys, but I need that in my life, because if I don't have him, I don't have anything. Even if I just have family, if I don't have him, I don't have anything. It is always him and the family. And so I just want you to know the in James, go ahead, Steve, you can put that up there in James chapter 1. And I'm just going to end with this. And I just want to encourage you guys. Okay, so James chapter 1, starting in verse 2 is, CJ, if you want to come on up here, you can, or if you don't, it doesn't matter. But tonight, I would just want it to be about, after I close, I just want you guys just to engage the Father, because that's why we're here. Like I told the girls, I don't get up here just to be heard. I can be heard at my house telling my kids what to do. And I don't go through things in life just to sit and hold them quietly in. And so what I've walked through, and the tension and all these things that I've walked through, and just knowing that God is who he says he is, that he'll always be who he says he's going to be, that when he asks you to do something, that he's not asking you to hand over something. I was talking to a friend last night. He's not asking you to hand over something so that he can leave you empty-handed. But a lot of times, if he's asking something of you, it's because he needs to put something else in your hands that you can't hold if what you are holding is still in your hands. And I don't know what that could be. It could be money. It could be a job. It could be an attitude, or an offense. It could be unforgiveness. It could be a plethora of things. But God's plans for you are good and not for evil. I remember when Kevin and Bella, when I first started parenting, I'd have them repeat that. For I know the plans that I have for you. They are for good and not for evil. They are to prosper you and not to harm you. And that is a promise. And when we start believing the promises of God more than we believe our own thoughts, when we start believing the promises of God, do we even understand? Like, it even bothers me that we come in and have regular services and we sit there and we're so nonchalant through service. Like, it's God. Like, you would not be here if it wasn't for the Father that fully created you, that wove you in your mother's womb. And he said, I have a plan and I have a destiny for you, and I'm putting my fingerprint on your life. But it's not going to be this one big miraculous thing that happens apart from me, but it's going to be, come here, take my hand, let's go. It's going to be, you're going to learn in hard times who I am. And that's what I asked God. So I told Brad, like, in hard times, I don't want to just sit there and be waiting to get through it and then look back and say, oh, that's who God was in my life, because I've done that a lot. I've sat and I've looked back and been like, you know, you say you can see better like after it's over, you know? But I'm like, no, I'm not doing that this time. Something has rose up inside of me, and I'm saying, okay, I'm going to know who you are now. I'm not going to just get through this with my head down and then afterwards look back and then tell you who you were. When I feel it, when I feel the healing, when I feel the peace. No, I'm going to stand here in the middle of the tension, and I'm going to say, I know who you are. And do you know that he is there? Because he never leaves you. And he'll never forsake you. And when you're going through hard times and you're facing hard times, if you're not right now, I'm sure that you will at some point. We all will. We go in and out of it. And it's okay. It is okay. It doesn't mean that life is over. But it's like, okay, Lord, let me find out one more thing about your character and who you are that I cannot learn when I feel comfortable. I can't learn God's character through never having a tension relationship in my life. I can never learn the fullness of who God is just being happy with everybody. Mine and CJ's marriage is not what it is today because both of us kept everything in and ignored that we had issues. But it's intention in the relationship, and it's in being intentional that now we can say we have the marriage of our dreams. Because we chose to get into the hard things of life and still look at each other and say, no matter what, I'm not leaving. No matter what, we have covenant. And when you don't feel like you can stick with the Lord, just know he never questions it because he has covenant. And his covenant means something. It may not mean a whole lot to the world that we live in, but it means a whole lot to him. And that means it means a whole lot to me. And so in James, chapter 1, verse 2, it says, my fellow believers in the Passion Translation, when it seems as though you are facing nothing but difficulties, see it as an invaluable opportunity to experience the greatest joy that you can. For you know that when your faith is tested, it stirs up in you the power of endurance. And then as your endurance grows even stronger, it will release perfection into every part of your being until there is nothing missing and nothing lacking. It is not through just having all good times that you don't lack or miss nothing, but it's through going through those times with the Lord, believing and trusting him that you will lack nothing. I looked up how a pearl was made today because when we were in Virginia, Jason Townsend was speaking, and he was talking about that verse, and then he mentioned a pearl, and that struck me because I was really sick when we were there, and it just struck me because Sarah Beth, when I moved here, she said, "Do you know what your name means?" And I said, "No," and she said, "Pearl," and that frustrated me a little bit on the inside because I wanted my name to mean something else, and so I even Googled, like, I'm going to Google that and make sure it's true. And like, I found like other meanings for my name that I liked better, you know? And I was like, "Hey, Sarah Beth, did you know I looked up online and seen that my name means this, you know?" And she never stopped calling me Pearl. And then when we had the youth down in Mobile and had the baptism, God knows I hopped in there with them because I'm not getting baptized whenever we're having a baptism. Like, here I am. Like, you know, "Don't look, Ethel." Like, have you ever seen that? Maybe I'm too old. But here I go, you know. I'm going to the baptismal tank. But I hopped in there with them, and as I went through, Tina Lovejoy was going, "Pearl, Pearl, Pearl, Pearl." And I have had a lot of trouble in my life. And you may not look at me now and think so. But I have. But I also had a mom who did too. And I watched her go through stuff. And I seen her come out better. And she would always look at me and say, "The Lord has told me that no matter how anointed I am, that my kids are going to have it double." And that was also double true. That was also like, it takes something to get there, you know? It takes something to have that with the Lord. And so I was looking at how pearls made, and just a couple of things. I'll just go in, then we'll just go into pray. And if you guys don't care, we can just stand up when we pray and just worship the Lord. But a pearl is made when a foreign substance, it slips into an oyster, and this irritates the oyster. But without the irritation, there is no pearl. And let me read this one thing, because it's the great exchange, right? When I was studying today, I went and I was looking at Matthew. You can do that. See, Matthew 13, 44 through 46. And I was looking at these verses, but I'm just going to read what I was in a service in Mobile, and Apostle Damon had said this, and I wrote it down. And so I just want to read this to you guys. And it's, "Until you realize that you're mesmerizing to the merchant, you will miss every exchange that he has for you." And so the reference to that is, heaven's kingdom realm is also like a jewel merchant in search of rare pearls. When he discovers one very precious and exquisite, he immediately gave up all he had for exchange of it. And when you realize you're the pearl that he gave all he had for, you have no problem giving all you have for him, because it's the great exchange. And when you say no, it just stops the exchange, because how can we exchange if we don't have this? If it's not me and him, it's not just him, it's me and him. It's me and him. Okay, Father, I give you this, and I trust you with it. No matter what I see, I believe. And so let's just pray. And if you do have anything in your life that you're believing for, like, we're in the house of the Lord. We want to pray for you. You can come up here and we'll pray for you. Because I don't want you walking out feeling overwhelmed or feeling burdened. And that's not what this family is here for. And so, guys, if you just want to stand up and we'll pray. Lord, I just thank you for this family. God, I just thank you for this family that has decided to invest in the generations. God, this family that has decided to back the father of this house and to follow him into these fires around Kentucky. Like Sarah Beth said, Lord, a couple weeks ago, when you turn the selfie mode on your cell phone, the light that's shining, if you have your flashlight on, it turns off. And so, Lord, we don't want to just keep looking inward, but God, we want to look outward. God, we want to shine for you, Jesus. God, it is an honor that you have placed us here in this point in time, where we're at and who we're with. And God, I just pray over anybody in the room or anybody on live stream that may be walking through something really hard. And I just pray that your grace and that your peace goes into their situation. And God, you would just chase them down with your word. God, it is by your word that we are healed, Lord Jesus. And that you would chase them down and they would feel the presence and the peace of the Father. That they would learn to know who you are and the character that you carry, the character that you set above yourself, God, that you are love above all, that you are kind, and that you are forgiving, and that you are gracious, and that you are healer, but you are lover above all. And Lord, when we have you, we lack nothing else. And Lord, I just thank you. I just give you glory, and I give you honor, and I give you thanks.
Some stories all through tonight that has such a repeated pattern in almost every story that we've heard tonight. And that is, in the last year of this house, this ministry, this family, things have changed. Some of you guys that I look around this room have moved here in the last year, the last 2 years. Some of you have started coming to church here in the last year. I remember last October, I came into this room and it was empty, and I cried out for the Lord because I didn't know what in the world I was going to do. And I was like, Lord, something's got to change. It's got to change in me. And I began to seek the Lord in prayer. And then these relationships just began to unlock. And they were here all around me already. But it was like this family came alive around me. And so what I want to say is that if you're in that moment, if you're in that place where you don't know what to do, and you don't know if your heart is crying out saying, God, something has to change, and I have no idea what it is. I want you to do what every story that you've heard tonight starts with. And that's saying yes to the people around you. Say yes to family. Say yes to being in this house and being among people that believe God and believe for revival and believe for Kentucky and believe for change and believe the presence of God can manifest in a room and can change you and make it so that you're different than when you walked in. Because it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen just because you say a prayer, just because you answer an altar call, just because you have an encounter with the Lord. It's a yes and a yes and a yes and a yes. And it's coming back when it's hard and when it's tough and you don't know what to do, and you just keep saying yes to family, and you just keep saying yes to God, and you just keep saying yes to the call on your life. Because God has never left me, has never forsaken me, has never abandoned me. He has said yes to me when I couldn't even say yes. And sometimes this word believe, sometimes it means when it doesn't seem like what you're believing for is even there. It's saying yes to a mystery. It's when it's blind, when it's dark and it's unclear, but something in my heart screams yes, and I believe and I reach out for that thing. And sometimes believe means I've got to be persuaded. It's a real thing that somebody's telling me, and I've got to be convinced, and I've got to meditate on it, I've got to chew on it, and I have to go on a journey, and I have to let it be revealed in my heart. But I want to tell you, sometimes this word means trust. And you know what trust is? It's relational. It means I'm going to believe because the people around me believe. And I'm going to trust that together we're going to pull through. And so, man, let's just pray. Let's lift up our hands. Lord, we thank you so much. We truly thank you so much for this family that you've built around this fire. God, I thank you that there is a fire to tend here. And I thank you for this family willing to tend it. And I thank you that we don't use this fire anymore for burnt offerings, begging you for forgiveness, but that we come around this fire and we bring incense to lift up to you. And I thank you, God, that it has become so much more important to behold your beauty and to see your face shine on us than it is for us to be ashamed and try to hide from your presence. God, I thank you for every single person in this room. I thank you for growing us up together in this last year and galvanizing this family as a unit, as a whole, one unit with one thing in common, and that's you. He's so good, family. so, so good. Every Wednesday night, we have an opportunity to do this. Prayer at 6:30. Every single Wednesday night, we're in here, and we have been for the last year doing exactly what you're hearing about tonight. And that is leaning into the presence, leaning into revival, praying for our state, praying for our family here, praying for our city, but also becoming one as a family in His presence. And I'm telling you guys, prayer and coming together as a family has changed everything about this in the last year. Those nights, I wouldn't trade for anything. So we'll be back in here Wednesday night, prayer 6:30. Josh has got a show on Saturday. Hey, he's going to be in Lebanon Junction, playing off of his album that came out over the summer. So if you guys aren't doing anything Saturday night, come on out to Lebanon Junction, hang out, listen. It's a fundraiser, I think, for Thanksgiving, giving to the poor, doing a big Thanksgiving meal. They're doing a fundraiser. He's going to be playing at the show. So come out Saturday night if you're not doing anything. If you need an address, talk to Josh. But it's just good to see you guys hang around for a little bit, talk, and spend some time with one another. And it's just good to be in the house. We're done 6:45. You got time to hang out 15 minutes and chat. So let's spend a little bit of time here. We're going to go home early.